Welcome back to Old Coin Search, where today we're taking a close look at four powerful names in American coin collecting: the Jefferson Nickel, the Wheat Penny, the Kennedy Half Dollar, and the Washington Quarter. These coins may look ordinary at first glance, but behind each name is a story of history, rarity, and surprising value that collectors are actively searching for today. So stay with us as we break down what makes these classic U.S. coins so special. First, the 1960 Jefferson Nickel from the Denver Mint holds a special place in American numismatics, not because it was rare when released, but because truly exceptional examples have become some of the most desirable modern nickels in today's collector market. Over time, this coin has earned respect among specialists who understand how difficult it is to find top-quality survivors with sharp details and original surfaces. Its appeal comes from the combination of a familiar design, a well-known mint, and the surprising value that high-grade examples can command, making it a standout within the Jefferson Nickel series. When this coin was struck in 1960, the United States was experiencing a period of economic confidence and rapid modernization. The Jefferson Nickel had already been in circulation for more than 2 decades, serving as a workhorse coin used daily by millions of Americans. Produced at the Denver Mint, the 1960 issue reflects the Mint's role in supporting heavy circulation needs during the post-war era. While no special anniversary or commemorative purpose was attached to this year, the coin represents the stability of U.S. coinage at a time when design consistency and mass production were priorities. Visually, the coin follows Felix Schlag's classic Jefferson Nickel design, featuring a dignified portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse with clean lettering and balanced spacing. The reverse displays Monticello with its steps, windows, and architectural lines clearly defined on well-struck examples. Composed of a copper-nickel alloy, the coin measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter and weighs 5 grams. What sets premium examples apart is the sharpness of Jefferson's hair, the crispness of the Monticello steps, and the presence of strong luster that gives the coin a vibrant, almost polished appearance when preserved correctly. Rarity for the 1960 Jefferson Nickel is not about low mintage, but about condition rarity. Millions were struck, yet most entered circulation immediately and suffered wear, bag marks, or weak strikes. Coins that survive in near-perfect condition, especially those with fully defined steps on Monticello, are genuinely scarce. The so-called full steps designation dramatically increases desirability, as it confirms exceptional strike quality. As grade increases, the population drops sharply, creating intense competition among advanced collectors seeking the finest known examples. In the current market, the value of this coin can be surprisingly strong when condition and strike quality align. High-grade certified examples without major flaws can begin around $1,850, while pieces with outstanding luster and strong details often climb well beyond $3,400. The most impressive full-step specimens, particularly those graded at the top of the scale, have reached prices near $5,200 in auction settings. These values are driven by registry competition, limited supply of elite examples, and growing appreciation for condition-based rarities within modern U.S. coinage. Collectors interested in this coin should focus on eye appeal, strike strength, and surface preservation rather than just the date and mint mark. Professional certification from trusted grading services is essential, as subtle differences in grade can mean thousands of dollars in value. Storage also plays a critical role. Coins should be kept in stable, low-humidity environments to prevent tunning or corrosion. When acquiring a high-end example, reputable auctions, established dealers, and recognized numismatic shows offer the safest paths to authenticity and quality. Beyond its monetary worth, the 1960 Jefferson Nickel offers collectors a chance to appreciate how everyday coins can transform into premium collectibles over time. It represents the challenge of modern coin collecting, where patience, knowledge, and attention to detail matter more than simple rarity. For many enthusiasts, owning a top-tier example becomes a point of pride and a benchmark within their Jefferson Nickel collection. In the broader picture, this coin stands as proof that value in numismatics is often hidden in plain sight. Its historical context, classic design, and the difficulty of finding pristine examples combine to give it lasting appeal. Whether viewed as a serious investment or a centerpiece of a specialized collection, the 1960 D Jefferson Nickel continues to attract both seasoned collectors and newcomers who recognize its enduring significance and potential for long-term appreciation. Next up, the 1961 D Jefferson Nickel occupies a unique and paradoxical position in American numismatics. While over 229 million were struck at the Denver Mint, rendering the date overwhelmingly common in circulated grades, it achieves an elite, ultra-rare status under a single, critical condition. Its immense appeal lies in this dramatic duality. It is simultaneously one of the most accessible vintage Jefferson nickels and the host to specimens that command five-figure auction prices. The pursuit of this coin in gem condition, particularly with the coveted full steps, FS, designation, represents one of the greatest challenges in 20th century series collecting. This intense focus on a singular, visually dramatic attribute, the fully struck steps of Monticello, transforms an otherwise ordinary piece of pocket change into a legendary trophy coin for specialists. Historically, the 1961 D nickel was a product of its era, struck in a year of transition between post-war prosperity and the burgeoning space age and civil rights movement. It was the second year of a massive increase in nickel production to meet commercial demand, with the Denver Mint contributing its colossal output to the over 300 million nickels minted nationwide. As a piece of currency, it was utterly unremarkable, destined for mundane commerce. Yet its place in the Jefferson series, designed by Felix Schlag in 1938, anchors it to a longer narrative of American iconography. The coin does not commemorate a specific event, but rather represents the enduring legacy of Thomas Jefferson during a time when the national ideals he espoused were being actively tested and redefined. The Denver D mint mark, therefore, signifies not just a point of origin, but the mass production environment that makes its few, perfectly struck survivors so extraordinary. The defining feature that separates a common 1961 D nickel from a numismatic treasure is found exclusively on the reverse, the detailed rendering of Monticello's portico. For a coin to be classified as full steps, at least 5, and preferably 6, complete, horizontal and non-interrupted steps must be visible leading to the building's entrance. Achieving this on a business strike coin made from the hard copper-nickel alloy was exceptionally difficult due to worn dies and the challenges of striking such fine detail at high speed. On the obverse, collectors seek a sharply defined portrait of Jefferson with full hair detail and a clean, unbroken cheek. The overall surface must possess superb, original luster, ranging from satiny to semi-reflective. These stringent requirements mean that, out of hundreds of millions struck, only a minuscule fraction exhibit the flawless strike and preservation needed to compete at the highest levels. The extreme rarity of a high-grade 1961 D with full steps is not a function of mintage, but of condition and strike quality. Population reports from major grading services show that while many mint state coins exist, those graded MS-65 and above with the FS label are exceedingly scarce. For example, an MS-64 FS specimen is a significant rarity, with auction records showing only a handful of public sales. This scarcity is amplified by the natural forces of the marketplace. Most coins entered circulation and were worn smooth, while even those saved in rolls often lack the phenomenal strike required. Consequently, the market for a true gem 1961 D FS nickel is a specialized arena where supply is perpetually minuscule and demand from top-tier registry set collectors is consistently high, creating a perfect storm for exceptional valuations. Realized auction prices firmly establish the market value for these premium coins. A 1961 D. Jefferson Nickel graded MS-64 FS has sold for prices between $7,031 and $12,938 at public auction. For a coin in MS-65 condition with full steps, values can range from $4,500 and climb dramatically from there, with some exceptional examples or those with superior eye appeal breaking the $6,000 barrier with ease. It is crucial to understand that these figures are for certified, encapsulation-guaranteed specimens. An uncertified coin, regardless of appearance, will not approach this market. The price driver is not the date, but the conditional perfection encapsulated in the MS-65FS, or higher grade, a designation that immediately communicates rarity and quality to any serious collector or investor in the numismatic space. For collectors pursuing this coin, strategy is paramount. First, abandon searches in circulation. A true gem will not be found in a jar of old coins. Focus instead on the certified market from reputable auction houses and specialist dealers. Authentication and grading by either PCGS or NGC is non-negotiable, as the FS designation is only reliably conferred by these services. When evaluating a certified coin, look beyond the grade to the eye appeal, the strength of the strike, the completeness of the steps under magnification, and the quality of the luster. Storage is critical. Even a high-grade coin must be kept in its secure, inert holder and stored in a stable, dry environment to preserve its surface quality. Building a relationship with a dealer who specializes in modern coin rarities can provide access to opportunities before they reach the broader market. Beyond the pristine business strikes, a subset of error coins also holds significant value, though their market is more niche. Examples such as the 1961 D nickel struck on a wrong planchet, like a 10 centavos planchet, have sold for over $1,100. Other errors include doubled dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks RPM, like a D over D variety. While these can be fascinating and valuable, their worth is highly specific to the dramatic visibility and popularity of the error itself. For most collectors, the primary and most prestigious goal remains the acquisition of a fully struck, magnificently preserved business strike that showcases the U.S. Mint's artistry under the most challenging production circumstances. In conclusion, the 1961 D. Jefferson Nickel embodies the core principle that in numismatics, quality transcends quantity. Its historical significance is rooted in its commonality, while its numismatic legend is built upon its extraordinary exceptions. A superb specimen with full steps represents a monumental achievement in both striking precision and long-term preservation. For the advanced collector, it offers a compelling combination of historical accessibility, intense competitive challenge, and strong potential for capital appreciation, anchored by its undisputed status as a condition rarity. It stands as a testament to the idea that even within the most mass-produced series, there exist pinnacle specimens that capture the elusive ideal of perfection, making them permanently desirable and valuable. Next up, the 1964 Jefferson Nickel stands out as one of the most talked-about modern old coins in U.S. numismatics, especially when collectors discover that even very dirty, heavily circulated examples can still carry surprising value. This coin attracts attention because it comes from the final year before major changes in U.S. coin production, and because so many were saved, searched, and hoarded, making condition and specific characteristics far more important than people expect. For collectors, the appeal lies in the challenge of separating ordinary pieces from those that quietly hold strong collector demand, even when the surface looks worn, dark, or neglected. The year 1964 was a turning point in American coin history, marked by economic pressure, rising metal prices, and widespread coin shortages. Jefferson nickels were being struck in massive numbers to keep up with public demand, and the U.S. Mint was operating at full capacity. This was the last year before special measures were taken to change minting practices, making 1964 an end-of-era issue. Because of this, millions of these nickels entered circulation immediately, often experiencing heavy use, which explains why so many surviving examples today are found in dirty, worn, or stained condition. Design-wise, the 1964 Jefferson nickel carries the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, showing his profile with strong lettering when the strike is clear. On dirty examples, details in the hair and jawline may appear flat, but traces of the original design still tell the story of its craftsmanship. The reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's historic home, with steps, windows, and architectural lines that are critical for collectors. Even when the coin is grimy or darkened, collectors closely examine the Monticello steps, as sharper detail can still survive beneath surface dirt. Rarity for this coin is not about how many were minted, but how few remain desirable in specific conditions. While worn and dirty examples are common, coins that retain strong underlying detail, minimal damage, and original surfaces beneath grime are much harder to find. Some dirty coins simply need professional conservation to reveal surprising quality. Others show honest circulation wear without harsh cleaning, which many collectors prefer. This creates a niche where even unattractive-looking coins can be scarce in the right combination of originality and detail. Collector demand for the 1964 Jefferson nickel is driven by its position as a historic cutoff year in the series and the ongoing interest in condition-based collecting. Unlike earlier classic coins, this nickel challenges collectors to look beyond shine and focus on strike, detail, and originality. It stands out within the Jefferson Nickel series because it represents the end of traditional minting practices before later changes, making it a must-have date for date-hand mint collectors and specialists who appreciate transitional years. In today's market, values for dirty 1964 Jefferson nickels can vary widely depending on what lies beneath the surface. Heavily circulated examples with solid detail can begin around $850, especially if they show no harsh cleaning or damage. Coins with better than expected sharpness or strong reverse detail often trade between $2,100 and $3,900. In exceptional cases, where a dirty coin still qualifies for high technical grades after professional evaluation, prices have climbed above $6,200, proving that appearance alone does not determine value. For collectors searching for this coin, patience and careful inspection are key. Dirty coins should never be aggressively cleaned, as original surfaces matter far more than brightness. Professional grading can help confirm authenticity and protect value, especially for pieces that appear better than average under magnification. Estate collections, old rolls, and long-time accumulations remain excellent hunting grounds for overlooked examples. As this coin continues to gain appreciation for its historical role and collector challenge, it remains a strong reminder that even the dirtiest old coins can hold real numismatic importance. Last coin, the 1965 Jefferson Nickel. At first glance, it's among the most common coins you could find, with over 136 million struck. Yet, in a specific, pristine state, it transforms into a trophy that can command over $2,000. Its appeal lies entirely in this dramatic condition rarity. For most collectors, it represents an affordable piece of 1960s history, but for the advanced specialist, the pursuit of a perfect 1965 nickel is a relentless challenge. This coin perfectly embodies the numismatic principle that quality, not just quantity, defines true value and desirability. The historical context of the 1965 nickel is pivotal to understanding its design and scarcity. This was a year of significant transition at the U.S. Mint, prompted by a national coin shortage. The Coinage Act of 1965 mandated the removal of silver from dimes and quarters, and notably, required that all coins from 1965 to 1967 be struck without mint marks to discourage collector hoarding. This is why every 1965 nickel you find lacks a P for Philadelphia, its sole mint of origin. Furthermore, the traditional proof sets were discontinued, replaced by special mint sets, SMS, featuring coins with a satin finish. Struck during this industrial push, the vast majority of business strike nickels left the mint with soft details. However, a tiny fraction from the very beginning of the production run, when the dies were fresh and striking pressure was high, received an exceptionally sharp impression. These rare coins are the key to the series' top prizes. The design, by Felix Schlag, is a familiar American icon, but its specific execution on the 1965 coin is what collectors scrutinize. The obverse features the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. On a high-grade example, you want to see every strand of his hair detailed in a sharply defined cheekbone, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" fully clear. The true test, however, is on the reverse. The focus is Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. On most circulated or weakly struck coins, the front steps of the building blend into a smooth, featureless mound. On a premium coin, you must be able to count 5, or ideally 6, sharply defined separate steps leading up to the portico. This is the coveted full steps, FS, designation. Achieving this level of detail on the hard copper-nickel planchet was exceptionally difficult, making any coin that shows it a standout specimen. When discussing rarity and survival, we must separate the coin's massive mintage from its availability in top condition. While 136 million entered circulation, PCGS estimates that only about 1,000 examples survive today that qualify for the full steps designation. This is the essence of condition rarity. Millions were worn smooth in pockets and cash registers. Even coins saved in rolls from the bank typically lack the razor-sharp strike needed. The surviving high-grade population is further divided by the Sheldon grading scale, which runs from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS-60, the lowest uncirculated grade, may have no wear but can be riddled with bag marks and have a weak strike. The true rarities are those graded MS-65 and above with the full steps label. In these elite tiers, the 1965 nickel is genuinely scarce, with prices reflecting that intense competition among registry-set collectors. This brings us to collector demand, and why this specific coin stands out in the Jefferson Nickel series. For a series that ran for decades with astronomically high mintages, condition is the only differentiator. The 1965 nickel, as a common date, is not historically rare, but its status as a condition rarity makes it a centerpiece. Advanced collectors assembling top pop sets collections seeking the highest graded example of each date drive relentless demand for the finest known examples. A coin graded MS-66 or MS-67 with full steps isn't just a nickel. It's a benchmark of preservation and striking quality. It represents a perfect convergence of minting art and collector diligence. This demand ensures that whenever one of these gems appears at a major auction, it generates significant interest and competitive bidding. So what is the current market value? The range is extreme, which is the fascinating story of this coin. Your average circulated 1965 nickel is worth exactly 5 cents. An uncirculated example without full steps might be valued at around $8.50. The market changes dramatically for conditional quality. A specimen graded MS-65 with the full steps designation can command between $1,500 and $2,300. For coins that climb into the stratosphere of MS-66, values can push toward $3,500 or more. With auction records reflecting these strong prices for the pinnacle of quality, It is crucial to note that these values apply only to coins certified and designated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. An uncertified coin, no matter how nice it looks to the naked eye, cannot command this market. For collectors, the strategy is clear but requires patience and a keen eye. First, abandon hope of finding a high-value 1965 nickel in circulation. True gems were pulled from original rolls decades ago. Your hunt should be in the certified coin market. Authentication and grading by PCGS or NGC is non-negotiable. Their full steps designation is the trusted standard. When evaluating a certified coin, study the step detail under magnification. Also, look for original, unblemished surfaces. Coins that have been improperly cleaned or damaged receive a details grade and lose most of their premium value. Consider storage carefully. Even a graded coin should be kept in a climate-stable environment. For acquisition, build relationships with reputable dealers specializing in modern coin rarities or monitor auctions from major houses like Heritage or Stack's Bowers. In conclusion, the 1965 Jefferson Nickel teaches a masterclass in numismatic value. It proves that rarity is not solely a product of the mint's production count, but of time, chance, and the relentless pursuit of perfection. A top-tier example is a monument to the few moments in 1965 when the minting press aligned perfectly, and to the collector who had the foresight to preserve it. For the new collector, it's an accessible piece of history. For the seasoned veteran, it's a challenging and prestigious key to a top-tier registry set. Its potential for appreciation remains anchored in its undeniable, visually verifiable scarcity. A scarcity defined not by how many were made, but by how few were made perfectly. That's all for this deep dive into a modern classic. In our next video, we'll shift gears to a coin with a very different story, a 20th century silver issue where a tiny, overlooked mint mark creates a six-figure rarity. You won't want to miss it. Until then, happy collecting.